all friends from the comic book world. My name is G,
I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the May 22nd, 2023 FOC. Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House and manage sales into the international direct market. So the titles that you'll see today are those that we can sell into those markets. With these videos, we share our picks, as I mentioned, and some cool and interesting news. Uh, if you want to follow us, you should.
You should.
You
Yeah.
should. It's not a question of if. You should.
Yeah. When you follow
Uh,
us, if
when you follow us,
when you're looking to follow us, go to
uh,
at PRH International
PRH
Comics.
International Comics. You'll see our news and updates there. Definitely comment there, but also here on YouTube as well. Definitely tell us what you're picking up because we'd be interested to know as well. So we'll go
Yes.
ahead and get started here.
Yes.
And my first pick is Edge of Spider-Verse. This is issue number 3. And if you've been following Marvel news, this is a very significant issue. Um, Spider-Boy made his debut in Spider-Man issue number 7, and so that one is just a first appearance, but this one you get to see like it'll contain his origin story. So definitely want to pick this up to take a look at that. And the cover design is not listed here, but I should I should have put it in here, but it's Patrick Brown who did the cover art. And on the cover, we see Spider Smasher, who made a debut in Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 38. Very cool. And if you actually follow Patrick Brown on, and I think he's on Instagram, one of the social media platforms, I was looking at his feed, and he was really excited because you'll see with Hector's pick, he was really excited to be like releasing this image alongside of the very famous Humberto Ramos, as you'll see the cover design here. Pretty cool. Mhm.
Yes. So that's my pick. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Edge of Spider-Verse 3 also, but Humberto Ramos variant, and you have a version 1 in 100, and you see Spider-Boy, which, as G mentioned, has recently debuted, and now we get his sort of full story or origin story, and Spider-Boy is just floating above the New York sky, which is very cool, very amazing. And we still don't know who Spider-Boy is, so you need to read this issue for sure. Okay. Next is another one of my picks. This is Hellcat for the Aka variant, 1 in 25. And it's such a beautiful, I mean, I love Hellcat and I love the character and I love the design and I love when artists play with that design. And this is very cool. I love how realistic, but at the same time, kind of still kind of cartoony. I love the fur. I love the red hair. Love everything, and you still see, if you know the character, you see the bandages underneath, sort of thing. And I was trying to find out who Aka is, but I don't know who they are. I have a couple of Aka variant covers, but I couldn't figure out. And when you try to Google Aka, a bunch of AKAs show up because obviously AKA. So if anybody knows and wants to drop in the comments who Aka, who they are and where they're from, and because I also found so many other Akas. I found about hip hop artists, and I found some like painters, but not comic books. So yeah, I'm very, very intrigued because I really love their art. Like I said, I there was a Betsy Braddock cover that they did, and I also have that, and that's beautiful too. Yeah, so this is my pick.
Okay, next up, my pick is My Little Pony. This is the Bridal Woodstock variant B, and the cover art is by Scruggs. And this one really stood out to me because quite obviously, it looks like a band, like a poster for the festival or the concert, but with ponies.
Yeah.
We didn't know, I don't know how recent this is. I think it was pretty recent, actually. Uh, there was a trailer that was released that announced a Netflix special by the same name.
Oh,
So, My Little Pony Bridal Woodstock. So, definitely check out that teaser video. So that special episode is due to come out on June 6th. And it will come out, that's just the one special episode, but it will come out alongside with 6 new episodes of My Little Pony Make Your Mark, which picks up after the movie called My Little Pony: A New Generation. Uh, there's like uh, when I was looking up this information, I didn't know how deep this this fandom went. I know, like, no
mm.
matter what, there's always a fandom for everything, but there's, like, a PonyCon that I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Whoa, this is cool. I didn't realize that was a thing." And, yeah, like, the amount of attention that, like, Little Pony has, not only with, like, younger audiences, but, like, adults who go to these, conventions as well, who's, like, very dedicated to,
Yeah.
like, the universe. It's, like, so extensive, it's amazing.
You
So,
don't know what the
yeah,
bronies are? You don't know about bronies?
and no,
Okay, we'll talk about the
we'll
bronies
talk about
afterwards.
that
Yeah, yeah,
later.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so this is cool. So if you haven't checked out the trailer, definitely do so. So, yeah, and we obviously have this, comic that is coming out as well. So,
Yeah. And I love
mhm,
the I love everything, but especially Electric Blue's glasses. Those are amazing.
mhm.
All right. And then next up, another one of my picks is Star Wars Bounty Hunters 35, the Lucas Wernick Star Wars Pride variant. Lucas Wernick is part of the current Stormbreakers class, but this is part of the Pride variants coming out during the month of June for Star Wars. In this case, we see he did a beautiful, beautiful painting with Dumna Tage, sorry, and kind of represents her in such a like you still have the action of her arm shooting, but also sort of like a goddess, like a moon goddess, kind of sort of a little bit like a tarot card look to it, and you have the moon and the stars in the background, and you have a little bit of a sort of like a frame with some very beautiful lines on it. Her hair filled with flowers. It's just gorgeous, very very gorgeous. Highly looking forward to this one.
All right.
Yep.
So this, I before I get started here, I want to introduce this George Perez variant line. So unfortunately, last year, the comics industry lost George Perez. I actually attended New York Comic Con last year where they did a panel just honoring Perez's work, and you could really feel the loss. I mean, everyone knows how significant he is in the industry, but also you could just feel the amount of love his peers have, and like how genuinely good of a person he is. So, in collaboration with the Perez estate, Marvel is putting out this variant line. It started a couple, like, you'll see that a couple weeks ago on FOC, there was a Fantastic Four, like, title that included, his art. And if you just to give a little bit of a description, um, when Marvel went to the Perez estate, they basically collected a bunch of like rare drawings and went back into George Perez's archive and restored and at times recolored some of those illustrations that he did to put on these covers as a tribute to Perez. So not the previous FOC, but I believe the FOC before. We had Fantastic Four issue number 8 that included his cover on that particular issue, and that goes on sale on June 7th. This one, we have several on this FOC that I did want to go over. So we'll have Avengers issue number 2, the George Perez variant, and the 1 in 100 Virgin variant, with Vision on the cover. Very beautiful. If we continue on to the next slide, we'll see some others. And we have the Scarlet Witch annual issue number 1, alongside with the Version variant, which is again a 1 in 100. Very beautiful image here as well. And then lastly, the third that we have on this FOC is Incredible Hulk issue number 1. Now, there's a note here. There is also, like the other, is going to be a Version variant for this one. It's just we didn't have the image at the time of this recording without the trim, that you'll see on this one. But come to expect the Version variant for this cover as well. So these are the 3 that are on this FOC, going on sale June 21st. And then the one previously, and I believe there's another one
There's
for
a
next
couple
FOC.
more, I
There's a
think.
couple more after that.
Yeah,
We'll
Captain
mention.
America, Captain Marvel, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so these are really cool just to see
Yeah.
these images. So yeah.
Very good. Very good. And that's it for this week, but we always end up with a little bit of news. This is not exactly news, but it comes from the news. And the Vinland Saga creator Makoto Yukimura, he was recently been interviewed. The second season is almost over right now. I think we're waiting for 1 or 2 episodes to come out, and he was being interviewed, and he was asked, what is your other favorite manga series out there? And he surprised everybody by picking My Girlfriend's Child, which we had talked about this before, and it's a title that is very, very highly sought out after. And we have number 1 in English coming out in April, and in July. Did I say July? Yeah, July. There's the number 2, and before the end of the year, we're going to have number 3. I believe it's around November. But I do want to read that quote because it's such a great quote that from the interview, and what Makoto Yukimura said about My Girlfriend's Child is, it is a manga which very earnestly and seriously considers its theme. Mamoru Aoi's precise skill and earnest approach to creation touch my heart. And I'm not going to say much about it. I definitely, we mentioned it before. You should check this one out, and I think there's a lot of fans for this one, right? And it's still growing. So that is it for this week. Oops.
Yep, and that concludes our picks for this week. As always, check us out at PH International Comics on all our social media platforms. I'll link them in the description below so you can easily access them. As always, we love doing these, so definitely feel free to pop back in the comments. Come back next week because we do this on a weekly basis, and we'd love to hear from you. So that's it for today, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.